Alright, Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling well in the scriptures, and salutations to you Akim across the world, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. And now that we're coming into the end of days, the last days as they say it is. Alright. There was a certain nation prophesied to rule in the end of times or in the last days. There's a certain kingdom that would rise in the last days, according to the scriptures. Alright, and Daniel's the 7th chapter tells us it's the fourth beast. Alright, and we know that the fourth beast is the Roman Empire. Alright, so with that, who will be ruling the Roman Empire? Alright, it will be the nation of Edom. Alright, there's all kinds of information, there's all kinds of secular history that shows you that the Roman Empire, even the Greek Empire, all the way up until now, is ruled and controlled by the nation of Edom. Alright, so it shows you that we are in the last days. Alright, we are in the end of the fourth beast. We are in the 10 toes, as you might say, spoken of in Daniel the 7th chapter. Alright, and this kingdom is ruled by the nation of Edom. And who is that? The so-called Caucasian race. Alright, and we're actually living in their blessing that Isaac gave their progenitor, their patriarch Esau. Alright, and that blessing was to live by the sword and to get the fatness of the land. Alright, but we're coming into the end of that blessing. Alright, and it tells you that in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. Lord willing, I can get that later. Alright, but I'm going to start here. This is Genesis 25 and 20. It says, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Pandanaram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children together within her struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And this is the story, and this is the beginning. Alright, like Apostle Hart likes to say, this is the meat and the potatoes of the Bible. Alright, the story between Jacob and Esau, and this is where it begins. Alright, and we know that Jacob is the patriarch of the 12 tribes, alright, or the 12 sons, alright, which the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans descend from. Alright, we are the children of Israel. We are the descendants of Jacob. Alright, and also with that, we know that the descendants and children of Esau are your present-day Caucasian people or so-called white people. Alright, they are the nation of Edom. They are the Edomites. And we are in the end of the world. And we are in the end of their blessing that they were given by Isaac that I'm going to read about. Alright. This is Genesis 25 and 23. It says, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations. Alright. The nation of Edom, the nation of Israel. 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Alright, so we actually are closely related to the so-called white man, the Caucasian race. That is our twin brother nation. Alright, now that we know that they've broken the brotherly covenant, but we are closely related to the so-called white man. Alright, and like I was watching the elders and the apostles a few days ago. Isaac is Yahushai, that's for another lesson. But Yahushai, out of his loins came the devil and the righteous, Jacob and Esau. You see? This is Genesis 25 and 25. It says, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Alright, so we know from... Alright, we might going to get some visuals. Alright, the only babies that come out red is the Caucasian rape. The Caucasian, or the so-called white baby. Same thing happened during this time when Jacob and Esau were born. Alright, so I'm going to get a visual. Alright, you can just go in Google, type in white newborn baby. Alright. Alright, you can see that the pigmentation is red. Let me get a better visual. Let's see here. Alright, so these are Edomite babies that are born. See right here, they're red all over. Okay, same way Esau came out, red all over like a hairy garment. Okay, they are in fact the only race of baby that comes out like that. But not to get off topic, you can see from the visuals I showed you that this is describing the patriarch of the so-called white man. Alright, being born right along with the patriarch of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Jacob. Verse 25, and the first one came out red all over like a hairy garment, which I just showed you. The Caucasian baby comes out this way and in this color. And they called his name Esau. So you so-called white people, you descend from Esau. You are Edomites. Alright? You're living in the end of your blessing, which is the end of the world. Verse 26. And after that came out his brother, and his hand took on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter and man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And we know from experience, the so-called white man has hunting channels. He has hunting shows, hunting events, all right, hunting websites. I'm just going to go to one for example so you can kind of see the visuals. All right, these are the only people that deal with hunting rifles, hunting weapons, hunting gear. All right, you go to one of these outdoor one of these outdoor life websites where they mainly sell things pertaining to hunting and, you know, things of that nature. And who do you see? The so-called white man, the red man himself, Esau, Edom, the so-called Caucasian race. All right, let me go down a little bit more. Let's see. Hunting. Alright, there you go. So-called white man himself. Alright, there you go. The so-called white woman. You see? These are the traits of the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Alright? They are cunning hunters. So-called white woman. You see? All the attributes of you so-called white people are in the Bible, and we're just bringing them out through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Genesis 25 and 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same bread pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. All right, so what if you go into the word, the interlinear of that word Edom? All right, we're gonna scroll down, and this is real simple. You Edomites are finished. Edom, red. You are the red people. All right, when you get cold, when somebody hits you, all right, when you're nervous, when you're blushing, you turn red. When you come out of the womb, you're red. And this is the description of your present day Caucasian man, woman, or child. The nation of Edom. Red. Edom. Edomite. Idumean. Descendants of Esau. Land of Edom. Idumea. Land south and southeast of Palestine. And if you go to Mount Seir, where Edom dwelt, you can see that they have the same architecture as the Roman Empire. They have the same architecture as Washington, D.C. of today. which proves to you that they never changed and that this is the nation of Edom, all right, ruling in the last days, as the Lord planned. Genesis 25:30. And Esau said to Jacob, the patriarch of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint." Therefore his name was called Edom, or red, Idawam. And Jacob said, "See me this day thy birthright." So Jacob asked and inquired to get the birthright, which is what we're coming into now. This is the beginning of that story between Jacob and Esau. Alright. And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do for me?" So you Edomites have lost the birthright. When the Lord comes back, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the ancestors of Jacob, the offspring of and seed of Jacob, is going to get the kingdom of heaven and the birthright, due to the fact that this situation happened. Okay, so there's nothing really the so-called white man can do about it. This is why this truth is coming out. Okay, Genesis 25:33. And Jacob said, "Swear to me this day," and he swore unto him. See, so your forefather swore to our forefather to give him the birthright. For what? The red pottage that you cooked, that our forefather cooked for your forefather to eat. All right, due to his impatience. And Jacob said, "Swear to me this day," and he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of the lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. The kingdom of heaven, your forefather despised. All right, therefore the Lord gave it to us. All right, now I'm going to go into the word despised. All right, it's baza. All right, it says to despise, hold in contempt, disdain, despise, regard with contempt. This is how your forefather felt about receiving the kingdom of heaven because of his impatience, because of his impulsive nature, which is how you so-called white people are today, you Edomites. All right, same thing. All right, this is where you get it from. You get it from your forefather Esau, the brother of Jacob. All right, it says to be despised, to be despicable, to be vile, worthless. This is what you thought of the birthright that you were to get in this time. That's why it was given to Jacob. All right, then it was given to the 12 sons of Jacob. All right, who create and make up the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today. All right, let's go back. So let's continue. This is Genesis 25. This is Genesis 25. Slaki. This is Genesis 27 and we're going to start at 26. It says, "And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near and kiss me, my son." This is when Jacob began the art of supplanting. All right. And this is when he supplanted Isaac for the birthright of Esau. All right, and he received it. All right, we know that. Further up, you can read it yourself. Further up, Jacob actually was dressed and helped by Rebekah in order to supplant Isaac for the birthright, because Jacob was more fit, and it was the Spirit of the Lord that orchestrated this whole ordeal. All right, so you Edomites can't get mad at us. This is in the scriptures. It's secular history. All right, everything and anything you want to know about your downfall and the end of your kingdom and society and the beginning of Jacob, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, is here in the scriptures, which we preach week in and week out. All right, rain, sleet, or snow, because we are the children of Israel, and we have the blessing spoken of and given to Jacob here. All right, coming to us very soon. Genesis 27 and 26. "And his father Isaac said unto him, Come here now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which Yahweh hath blessed." All right, but this is really Jacob, all right, covered with clothing in order to supplant Isaac into thinking that he was Esau. And this is all being orchestrated by the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because the blessing was to go to Jacob, a more fit a more suited ruler, as we can see from the evidence shown of the status of the earth, who will evidently be a better ruler. All right, and it's not Esau. It's not the so-called Caucasian man, woman, or child. They are not fit to rule anything. All right, much less the earth. All right, which is why this was orchestrated by Yahweh Shem Yahushai in the past. All right, Genesis 27 and 27. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore, this is the blessing that we're going to receive. This is the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, the Most High give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. All right, let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord of thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from hunting. All right, so that shows you that this was the acts of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, when it describes Jacob supplanting Isaac for the blessing, this was all orchestrated and all planned by the Most High. He wanted this. All right, now you see that Esau is now coming in after this blessing after Jacob is gone. But Jacob already received the blessing. All right, but with this, Esau received his blessing. All right, that we're currently in now. And I'm going to read about this. Let's jump down to the 36th verse. Genesis 27 and 36. It says, and he said, all right, let's start up a little bit. Genesis 27 and 34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, my father. So Jacob had already received the blessing out of him supplanting Isaac. And look at Esau here crying for his birthright, crying to be right, crying to get something out of Isaac. Just like you Edomites are doing now that the time of kingdom of heaven is coming around, crying and pleading and begging and trying to prove that you're not the Edomites. All right, but you are. All right, and this is the end of your world. Thus saith the scriptures. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. So you have nothing coming back to you, Esau. Jacob is going to be the receiver of both the birthright and the blessing, the promises, etc. All right, and we know that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans come from the 12 sons of Jacob. All right, therefore they are to receive the blessing in the last days, because they are the offspring of Jacob. Period, point blank. And behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And sure, Isaac had a blessing for you. And that's the blessing. And this is the kingdom and society that we're living in now. Okay? It all started when you came into power. All right, during the time of the Greeks. All right, all the way up until now. All right? Because through those empires and those rulerships, you ruled with the sword. You slaughtered, you raped, you robbed, you murdered, you pushed wickedness across the planet, as you continue to do to this day. Genesis 27 and 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord. See this? We are going to be the lords over you Edomites and all the other nations on the earth. We are going to be the complete and most powerful nation on the planet under Yahushua and King David when they return. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the elect of them, that is. All right, so here it says, let's read it again, Genesis 27 and 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord. And this is what you should be calling us. You so-called Edom, you so-called Caucasians, who are the Edomites, the biblical Edomites, the descendants of Esau. You should be calling the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the children of Israel or Jacob. You should be calling us your lords. All right, thus saith the scriptures. All right, Genesis 27 and 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So your forefather cried for the blessing that we're currently in now, which is being ruled terribly by you Edomites. All right, which is coming to an end. So you can't get mad and say that you didn't get anything from the Lord. You've gotten your blessing and lived in it, and you have totally destroyed the earth. All right, you've totally oppressed us, children of Israel. And now it's coming to an end. Your blessing is over, and now the beginning of the blessing of the nation of Israel, all right, the descendants of Jacob, is near upon the world. You see? Genesis 25. That's why you see this truth coming out, man. All right, we were eventually going to wake up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right, it was inevitable, which is also written in the scriptures. But nonetheless, you've lived your blessing, and this is the end of it. Genesis 27. All right, Genesis 27 and 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. All right, that's why you go into all the world, and all the best places are controlled and controlled and lived in by the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Their habitation is the fatness of the earth. All right, the best parts of the land. All right, you can see that when every city has the same setup as the ancient, dark age movies, where they have the royalty downtown, and they have all the commoners and people that they call peasants pushed out, all right, all the way to the countryside. All right, and that's how it looks in the scenery. That's how it feels when you ride towards downtown from coming away from the city. All the poorer parts of the city are pushed away from downtown, and when you get downtown, it gets nicer and nicer, just set up just like you. This is your kingdom, all right? You are in rulership. This is the blessing that Isaac gave you, and we are at the end of it. Genesis 27 and 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And during the time of the Romans, all right, all the way up until now, your attribute was to live by war, by rape, rob, murdering, which is all by the sword, by violence. That was your blessing, and that's all you're good at. You see that the so-called white man is the best at shooting guns, all right, cleaning guns, going to war, dropping bombs on people, all right, building nukes. This is the blessing of the so-called white man, to live by the sword. And it was spoken here in Genesis the 27th chapter, in the beginning. The attributes of the so-called Caucasian race, the nation of Edom, was written down here before time, before they came into rulership. All right, it says, And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And this happened during the time of the Renaissance, after the ruling of the Dark Ages by Jacob, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American. The so-called white man came back into power during the time of the Renaissance. And that time exceeded all the way up until now. And this is the last leg of the Roman Empire, which is Babylon the Great. But the world better knows it as America. And who is it ruled by? It happens to be ruled by the nation of Edom, the so-called Caucasian race. Period, point blank. This is history. Genesis 27 and the Bible is the most accurate history book on the planet. Point blank, period. Genesis 27. Where was I? Genesis 27 and 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob. That's that perpetual hatred starting. All right, tells you that the Edomites had a perpetual hatred for us. All right, and have shed the blood of the children of Israel. This is the beginning of that. So the hatred that you have for us, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, is biblical. And it is an ancient hatred, and it can never be changed. You always feel this way because we are direct enemies. That's why we were warring in the womb. If you read Genesis 25, it also said one people shall be stronger than the other. We are physically stronger than you Edomites. If you did not have your blessing, the sword, all right, or the Lord putting you in power, you would never beat us, because we are a stronger people, physically, spiritually, all right, and in every way possible than you Edomites. All right. Genesis 27:41, and Esau hated Jacob. This is why you hate us. This is why you put us through slavery. You raped, robbed, beat us, lynched us. All right, because you have an ancient hatred that you don't even know about for us. And now we're in the end of your terrible society. And now you're going to pay for all this wickedness that you did across the earth, and ultimately to the children of Israel, the apple of the Most High's eye. Genesis 27:41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. That's why you hate us. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And that's how we can get all the way up until today. All right. Especially when it comes to you burning our temple multiple times. All right. Sacking our temple through Titus and Vespasian. All right. And you celebrate that because you have the Ark of Titus in multiple places across the world, which is basically a slap in the face of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And they don't even know it, because that's a symbolic for you conquering our temple. And you did that more than once. You did it during the time of the Babylonians. You helped them burn our temple down during the time of the Maccabees. All right. So you've always been our enemy, and you've always hated us. And now the Lord is going to repay you, and we're going to rule over you. All right. And we're going to obtain the blessing that our forefathers supplanted your forefather out of in the beginning. And we're going to rule over you. And you shall call us Lord, as the scripture says. Isaac said it. Okay. Now let's get this. This is second Ezra. This is to prove that we are in the end of the world. Okay. And it's being ruled by you so-called white people, you Edomites. This is second Ezra. It's real easy to understand. Second Ezra chapter 6 verse 1. And he said unto me in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the fountains of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Sion were hot, and the present years were sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. So all this that is happening on the planet now was planned from the beginning. The Lord said, I shall declare the end from the beginning. All right. And you can see that was evident through the types of blessings that Esau and Jacob received. Okay. Esau receiving a partial blessing, which we are currently in now, which is rulership over the earth for a certain time, the fatness of the earth, and to live by the sword and by violence. And we only know one race that has done that over the centuries. You Caucasian people, you Edomites. All right, and this is all planned from the beginning. 2 Ezra 6 and 5, and the present years were sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure, the elect. All right, the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Verse 6, then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Alright, so Yahushua is going to end, alright, the rulership of the so-called white man. Because like I said before, alright, Yahushua is the father, alright, because he was Isaac. For people that don't understand, reincarnation is in the scriptures. He was Isaac, our Lord and Savior. Yahushua was Isaac, and he gave birth to the devil, alright, Esau. And he also gave birth to the righteous and the gods of the earth, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, the Israelites, all right, the descendants of Jacob. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone and through none other. Who is speaking here? All right. Our Lord is going to come and save us and put the nation of Israel and put Jacob in power and give him the blessing. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? All right. So when is the end of the world going to come around? All right. Verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, which we read in Genesis the 25th and 27th chapter previously. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world. And we know, if you go into Matthew's the 24th chapter, Luke the 21st chapter, all right, so on and so forth throughout the scriptures, it gives you tokens and descriptions, all right, to let us know when the end times will be, and let us know that the end, to let us know when the end is near, actually, so to speak. All right, but it also lets us know here in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, who will be ruling in the end days, who will be ruling in the end of the world. Let's read 2nd Ezra 6 and 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac. Excuse me, bear with me 1 second. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Now let's see who will be ruling in the end of the world. Verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, is the beginning of it that followeth. Period, point blank. So this is the times we're living in. This is why this truth is coming out. Jacob is waking up so they can take the throne under Yahushua and King David. And Esau is the end of the world. And they are currently going down as we speak this word. This is prophecy. Okay? And with that, you Edomites, and with the end of your kingdom coming to a close, or with the beginning of your kingdom coming to a close, all right, comes your destruction and a recompense for all your treachery, for all your violence, and everything you have done to the children of Israel, as well as to the earth. All right, your judgment is approaching as we speak. All right, this is Lamentations 4 and 21. It says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. What is that cup? The cup of slavery, rape, rob, murder, oppression, depression. All right, and just being the bottom of the barrel, just like we were for centuries. Now it's your turn. Why? Because we are in the end of the world. We are in the end of the rulership of the nation of Edom, the so-called Caucasian race. And it's biblical. Okay? Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked. Which is what's happening. Which is why you have no answer to this truth. Your wisdom is failing you. Alright? You can't wiggle your way in through the scriptures. You so-called white people are the biblical Edomites, and this is the end of your world. And the beginning of Jacob. The beginning of the rulership of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Which is that blessing that Jacob supplanted your forefather out of. Lamentations 4 and 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And this is the beginning of the end of the world for you Edomites, or you so-called Caucasian people. This is it for you. This is the end of your rulership, which is why you see yourself falling, which is why you see yourself losing it day in and day out. You see your high opioid epidemic in all of your communities. All right, your women are going for Israelites, whether they be a Negro, so-called Latino, or so-called Native American. Even the heathens are starting to like Jacob. Why is this? Because we are in the end of your blessing. We are in the end of your rulership that was terribly controlled. All right, which pushed out nothing but wickedness across the earth. Which pushed out nothing but oppression upon the children of Israel, the children of Jacob. All right. Now it's time for your punishment to come around. And now this is the end of the punishment for the children of Israel. Which is why you see us on the highways and byways pushing this word. in truth and in sincerity. Lamentations 4:22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. The Lord is coming with the chariots. Alright. The Lord is orchestrating destruction for the nation of Edom in these last days. Because like 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter says, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to end it by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to you, Akim, across the world, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. Alright. Shalom and a Baba, you Edomites are finished. This is the end of your world. Call all Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakakodash. Shalom.